Hello, my name is Jane McConnell and I'm the lead judge at the SEND Tribunal, and I'm going to introduce you to our national trial, which is the extension of the tribunal powers to make recommendations on health and social care. First of all, I'd like to introduce you to the tribunal, as I'm aware that many of you may have not come to the SEND Tribunal or have any experience of giving evidence or preparing an appeal for the tribunal. The tribunal is part of a wider chamber of tribunals called HESC, Health, Education and Social Care Chamber. We sit alongside 3 other tribunals, and many of our judges and specialist members will actually sit in not just one but many of the jurisdictions within the chamber. The biggest tribunal within the chamber is our Mental Health Tribunal, which hears over 30,000 appeals each year against decisions made to detain people under the Mental Health Act. The second largest tribunal is the Special Educational Needs and Disability Tribunal, the SEND Tribunal, and we will hear appeals against decisions made by a local authority concerning a child or young person's special educational needs. And we also hear claims concerning disability discrimination against a school made by a parent on behalf of their child. The third tribunal within HESC is Care Standards, and that looks at decisions made by CQC or Ofsted concerning care standards. That may be around a childminder, or it may be around a care home where either CQC or Ofsted have imposed restrictions on the carer, or they have suspended the registration of that particular provider. The fourth and last tribunal within the HESC jurisdiction is Primary Health Lists, that looks at appeals against decisions made concerning doctors, pharmacists, opticians and other health providers on the primary health list, where they again have either had a restriction placed on how they practice, or their registration on the primary health list has been suspended. What is the national trial all about? It gives additional powers to us at the SEND Tribunal via statutory regulation to allow us to make recommendations relating to either the social care or the health issues brought to us by a parent or a young person. So why is the national trial being implemented? This can be traced back to the Lamb Inquiry. The Lamb Inquiry in 2009, headed by Brian Lamb, looked at parental confidence in the SEN system. One of the findings of the inquiry was that too often the needs of a child or a young person were looked at in silos of education, health and social care, and the recommendation was that there'd be a combined system with one point of appeal. The Green Paper that subsequently came out of the Lamb Inquiry, entitled Support and Aspiration, a New Approach to SEN, took on that idea and came up with the plan to have a education, health and care plan going across all these areas of need. The Pathfinder pilots, when a number of local authorities took recommendations from the Green Paper and tested them out, also looked to see if this was something that should happen. But during the development of the bill, then into the Children and Families Act, the idea that a right of appeal, a single right of appeal to the tribunal, was not adopted. However, under Section 79, there was a commitment to review the redress arrangements around the new system of education, health and care plans that was introduced. The Children and Families Act 2014 actually brought in a number of important duties on health and social care commissioners. Section 21 of the Act actually defines what healthcare provision is, and that means the provision of healthcare services that are part of the Comprehensive Healthcare Service in England that's defined under the National Health Service Act 2006. Social care provision is also defined as meaning provision made by a local authority in the exercise of their social services duties. So this will include the duties under the Chronically Sick and Disabled Children's Act, the Children's Act itself, and the Care Act for those young people who are over 18 or 18 or over. Most importantly, it brought in section 21.5, which was a reflection of previous case law, which says that healthcare provision or social care provision which educates or trains a child or young person is to be treated as special educational provision instead of healthcare provision or social care provision. This is a key definition within the Children and Families Act, and one that the Tribunal is currently applying and will be considered in the national trial appeals when decisions are being made as to whether healthcare provision or social care provision should in fact be special educational provision or the other way round. Section 23 of the Children and Families Act actually defines what the duty on health bodies is to bring certain children to the local authority's attention. And this applies to CCGs, NHS trusts or NHS foundation trusts, where there's a child under compulsory school age, i.e. 16, and where it's the opinion of professionals that the child has or probably has SEN or a disability. Section 26 looks at joint commissioning arrangements, and Section 29 looks at the duty to cooperate generally with local partners, which include the NHS Commissioning Board, CCG and NHS Foundation or Trust. These duties are really important in making sure that everybody within a local authority and then a CCG or the Health Commissioning Body are working together in a collaborative fashion. Section 28.3 is concerning the two parts of the local authority that are concerned in making decisions for children and young people. They are those that exercise the functions relating to educational training. In our case, it will be the SEN teams within a local authority, and also those that exercise the social services functions for children or young people with special educational needs. Generally, these are the children with disabilities teams within social care. It may be young persons disability teams or specific teams within adult social care which support those youngsters with learning disabilities. And then Section 31 looks at duties to cooperate in specific circumstances. These duties have been there since 2014 when the Act has been brought into place, and they override and they oversee the collaboration between not only the two different parts within the local authority, so the education team or the special educational team, depending how the local authority is organised, and the social care teams, specifically those for children versus those for young people or adults.